So your dryer isn't heating, or maybe it's making one of those horrible screeching, grinding sounds. Your first thought is probably, oh great, this is going to cost a fortune. But what if I told you that for most problems, you can fix it yourself in a couple of hours for less than the cost of a nice dinner out? Well, stick around because that's exactly what I'm about to show you.
First things first, let's talk about the money, because the numbers here are, well, they're pretty staggering. On one side, you've got a brand new dryer which can easily set you back $800, maybe even $1,200, and on the other side, a simple DIY repair kit you can get online for like $20 to $60. That huge gap isn't a typo, it's a choice. And here's the big secret the appliance industry doesn't really want you to know. Your dryer isn't some single super complex machine. Nope, it's just a box full of simple mechanical parts. And when it breaks down, it's almost always one of these small, cheap parts that has failed, not the whole thing.
Okay, so let's really frame the problem we're dealing with here. Your clothes are sitting there, sopping wet. Your dryer is blowing cold air, if it's running at all, and you are staring at what feels like a really, really expensive decision.
Here are your options, laid out plain and simple. That tiny little bar on the left, that's what you'll spend on parts. The middle bar is for calling a pro. But get this, the service call alone can be $200 to $400 before they've even ordered a single part. And then you have the $1,000 nuclear option, just buying a new machine. The difference between that first bar and the other two, well, that's hundreds of dollars you can keep in your pocket.
Now, before you even think about buying a part or opening up the machine, there are 5 incredibly simple things you have to check first. Seriously, these require 0 tools and they solve a surprising number of problems. But we have to cover one crucial safety step before anything else.
And I mean this. Before you take another step, stop what you're doing, go to the wall, and unplug the dryer completely. We are dealing with a powerful 240-volt outlet here, and your safety is not optional. I'm serious. Go unplug it right now.
Okay, now that it's unplugged and safe, let's run through the basics. 1. Power. I know it sounds silly, but is it plugged in all the way? And did you check your home circuit breaker box? 2. The lint filter. Don't just glance at it. Pull it out and clean it completely. 3. The exhaust vent. This is the big one. Check that big hose on the back for clogs. About 90% of all no-heat problems start right there. 4. The door latch. Make sure it clicks shut, nice and secure. And 5. Is the machine level? A surprising amount of issues disappear after just these 5 checks. All right, so if you've done all those checks and it's still not working, it's time for us to play detective. The sound your dryer is making, or maybe the sound it isn't making, that's our biggest clue. This is basically your diagnostic cheat sheet. You hear a loud, rhythmic grinding or high-pitched squeal? Almost guaranteed your drum rollers are worn out. The motor hums but the drum doesn't spin? Bingo, your drive belt is snapped. If it spins just fine but only blows cold air, then your heating element is burned out. And if it's just completely dead, no lights, no sounds, nothing, a tiny safety part called the thermal fuse has probably blown. See? Each symptom points you right to the solution. Now that you have a pretty good idea what's wrong, it's time to get your tools and parts. And don't worry, you probably already have almost everything you're going to need.
I mean, just look at this list. We are talking about the most basic stuff. A couple of screwdrivers, a putty knife to help pop the top panel off, and a couple of common nut drivers. That's really it. Yeah, a cheap multimeter is awesome for testing fuses to be 100% sure, and a shop vac is great for cleaning out all the lint you're going to find, but the essentials? I bet they're already sitting in your garage or junk drawer.
And you know, here's the best part. You don't have to hunt down all these little individual parts. For the most common problems like a broken belt or those noisy rollers, you can just buy a single kit online. This quote is from a popular one, and look what it says. It comes with the drum rollers, the drive belt, and the idler pulley, which is that little spring-loaded wheel that keeps the belt tight. It's all the parts that usually wear out right there in one box. So simple. All right, you've got your tools, you've got your parts kit, it's time. Time to open up the machine and make the swap. I know this is the part that seems intimidating, but it's really just a sequence of simple, logical steps. You can do this.
This is the arena. Now, it looks complicated from the outside, but once you pop the top and take off the front panel, you're going to see it's mostly just empty space. You've got a big drum, a little motor, a belt, and a few rollers. That's pretty much the entire system. It's not as scary as it looks, I promise. Okay, listen up, because this is the single best piece of advice I can give you for any first-time repair. Before you disconnect a single wire, before you take off the old belt, pull out your phone and take a picture of it. Take a few pictures, actually, from different angles. This creates your own personal instruction manual.
When it's time to put everything back together and you're thinking, wait, how did that belt wrap around the motor? You just look at the picture you took. It is an absolute lifesaver.
So you've replaced the part, you screwed all the panels back on, you plug it back in, and it works. It hums back to life. Let's just take a moment to appreciate what you just accomplished.
For a single afternoon's work, we're talking just 1 to 3 hours, especially for a beginner, you have solved the entire problem. You went from diagnosis to a fully functional appliance in less time than it takes to watch a long movie.
And the payoff here is just huge. By replacing these simple, cheap parts, you haven't just fixed the problem you had today. You've basically reset the clock on your dryer's lifespan. You've easily added 5 or more years of service to an appliance you were probably ready to haul to the curb.
So we end right back where we started, with a choice. Your dryer is broken. Are you going to pay a fortune for a new machine, or are you going to fix it yourself for about the price of a pizza? The power to do it is literally in your hands.
Order your copy today, available exclusively on Amazon.